Welcome to Landria Anka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome, fierce life. Yeah, fierce. Peaceful life. Happy life. I want to talk today about energy. And if you do this at every moment that you can, and eventually you'll do it constantly, if you think about energy in the way I'm about to present it, you can completely change your life. Fact. Why do I say it's fact? Because energy reacts to everything. Energy reacts to thought. Energy reacts to action, intentions, feelings, movement. Just you existing. Energy's reacting to that. All right. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything. That money that you want, that relationship that you want, is energy. It's vibrating on a certain frequency. And everything has the ability to connect to you. Oops, no, it is already connected to you. It is you. When you accept the fact that everything is energy and that you have free will, not to change somebody else's free will, but you have your own free will, and you are already connected to that which you desire. You're already connected to it. Even if it's a situation, if you can say, well, that thing doesn't exist right now. Yes, it does. Everything that you've ever desired, ever dreamed of, ever didn't want, everything exists. Everything is one thing. I was told this when I was in an awakened state. Everything is one thing, all happening. Not simultaneously. It's just one thing happening. And I thought, wait a minute. If it's not simultaneously happening, how can it be one thing happening? What I'm doing and what you're doing is one thing happening. The message was, we're not separate. If we're one thing and simultaneously doing things, then we're just not one energy functioning. Does this make sense? I know it's a little mind-blowing. I finally got it. I was like, what? Oh, and it said there was no such thing as time. Time was non-existent. It was a, planetary, let's say, concept put into place so that we can function here. So, okay, there's no time. So that means everything that's ever happened and ever will already exists. Every probability is real. It already exists. That means my thoughts are not separate from you. It's an energy. But I do have free will, so I can manipulate that energy, but we're one thing happening. We're one thing happening. Wow, guess what? You have access to everything. Everything. When you stop separating yourself from that thing that you desire, the situation, the feelings you desire, you can even look at it that way. Let's look at that completely different. Let's say, instead of I'm controlling my feelings, I can change them. Wow, man, I'm having a tough time changing these feelings. You can say, wait a minute. Those feelings exist because that's a probability. The probability is that I am in a higher frequency. That's a probability. It already exists. I'm connected to that. It's not separate out there. That probability exists and you are already a part of it. You're one thing. So every probability already exists and you are it. You're already it. So I think a lot of us, we say, okay, I'm here and I want that. And that's a probability and it's not in my reality. So I got to try and bring it in. Okay, I know I'm connected to it, but I got to bring it. No, you are it. You're it. You're already it. And I have to bring it in. Right? It will appear in this material world, but it's already there. It's already existing. But when you separate yourself from it and you say, well, I need to bring it in, you're not believing that it already is in, and that you're already it, and you are already the wealthy person. You already are the happy person. So if you want to be happy right now, let's use that. If you want to be happy, what do we do with that? That joyful, high frequency person that I desire to be in this role that I'm playing here on earth is already exists. And I am it. I am it. So I did a video where I told you, you're already enlightened. We're playing out other probabilities. You are actually already enlightened. It's not something that you aren't, that you have to get to. You're playing out the probabilities right now. That's all you're doing. You're already an enlightened being. The fact that as a human being, you don't have that concept in your head makes you think that that's something you need to get to. That is the human concept that is separating you from that makes you think that you have to raise your frequency when you are actually already an enlightened being. Of course you are. You came from that. That's all there is. It's just playing scenarios out right now. So we have to believe the scenarios. If you didn't believe the scenarios, we wouldn't be able to experience all these things, right? We'd already have this information. We go, we'd look at each other and say, we don't have to play this out. We're already both enlightened beings. We'd hug each other and basically disintegrate because we don't need these bodies anymore. The whole point was to come here and experience all this stuff and to raise the planetary frequency that we've kept low through our beliefs that that's what we are, and the material world that we hang on to that keeps that energy low. It's a real energy. I'm not saying that that is not a frequency that doesn't exist. It does. But we're creating it. We're bringing that probability in. We're bringing a lower frequency vibration here. We have the ability to manipulate that because we're perfect light beings that have that power. So let's go back to you wanting to be a peaceful person. That probability of you exists in every time. There is no such thing as time. All right, I have to have a sip of coffee. I'll try to block the mic. I'll try to block the mic so you don't have to listen to this. All right, so if the happy you, you are that already, what do you do with that? You think it's something you have to get to. It's not something you have to get to. The reason why it takes us time to get to certain things is because we're having to learn that we're already that. And when we get there, we go, oh my gosh, I was already all these things. But you're having to go through the motions of learning, of experiencing this journey. It's all about the journey to get to that, because that's the role we're playing here. So be okay with the journey, because we are learning things along the way. We are experiencing things. We're experiencing forgiveness and breakthroughs and letting go of the material world and understanding what we are. It's all exciting because we created all of this earthly thing. Got out of control. Got out of control because we don't have memory of what we are, so. But we're here to change that. We're here to help each other. There are some of us on higher frequencies on the planet, connected to higher frequencies to pull everybody else up so that we can all go just back to the one of which we are. It's like, okay, we've had enough. We've had enough of this. It's gotten out of control. So, the toughest thing that I think we as humans have to do is to disconnect our reliance on the material world. When I say rely on it to bring joy, rely on it to determine whether our life is a happy one or not. Our life, like, it's not just a moment by moment thing. If you have these goals, and if I don't reach those material, physical goals on this planet, I've failed. I failed my family, or I failed myself, or I've let people down, or I've let myself down. And how can you let anything down? You can't let anybody down. That's somebody else's expectations. This is your journey. You do what you want with it. If you are harming nothing, no one, then you go explore what you need to. It will take you to unbelievable experiences that we don't have when we are perfect light beings. We don't need to experience that. We're not connected to that density. And on this planet is the only way that we can have that density to experience being humans. But the bottom line is, if you understand that you are all of this energy, you are it, it's one thing. There's nothing you don't have access to. And this is what Christ said in the Bible: these things you shall do and more. Ye are all gods. In other words, you're all this power. You are this high power. It's not separate from you. Why don't we believe it? We read it. You have Christians that read their Bibles and they don't believe it. They interpret that as a different way because they think it's blasphemous, because we've been told we are less than that. Why? From who? It wasn't Christ or Buddha or any other awesome prophet. Muhammad. It's nothing great and beautiful of which we are that told us that. It was other human beings that told us that. Why? Because their egos can control other human beings and they can get more stuff and power. That's where that's coming from. So drop it. Get rid of it. We don't need that anymore. You are all gods. Ooh, I wonder if I'm going to get backlash for that. I always think I'm going to, and I don't. Like, I said one thing, like the comment about Pollyanna. One person said I was a Pollyanna. Why is it? Well, that's a positive thing, by the way. In other words, I see the world in rose-colored glasses. No, I see the world. It's my reality. By the way, that was one I have over 1 million viewers. That was one person. I think you guys think I get this stuff all the time. I don't. I think I get 2 a year, maybe. And they're not really nasty. Sometimes I get somebody who preaches to me, but they're caught in that material. This is how things work. They're not believing that they're the power. They think that we're supposed to do this and this and that. You're not. You get to decide. And you get to decide what you believe. And you get to decide if anything I say is valid or not. But I was told this. This was information given to me. And it was very surprising. It was not something I was seeking. It just came to me during an enlightened state. And it blew my mind. I was connecting to everything. At the time, I was actually connecting to things. I could actually feel energy when I touched things. I could feel energy coming off of plants and everything, rain, everything. The energy was so intense. And I still get that, but this information was shared with me, and that's really all I needed to know. In other words, you don't need to know anything else but this. You are everything. Everything is you. There is only one thing. So when we say I am everything, it's tough because we see this individual person and the concept is too weird. But when you think everything is one thing and you're a part of that, maybe it's an easier concept for you. It's not really a concept. It's just how things are. Science knows this. Science knows that everything's connected. Everything. So that means it's one thing. It's one energy. If it's connected, it's one energy. There's no such thing as time. So every probability exists for you. You are that energy. So if you think of this and you get a grasp on this, that you are the energy of everything and it is you. It's connected to you. It's not thinking separately from you. You have individual choice. And yes, as a human being, you can think. But those thoughts and everything, by the way, are being influenced by everything and everybody else on this planet. And yours are affecting them through your free will. So it isn't separate. Your thoughts are actually being affected by what's going on out here in the unseen world. The thoughts and feelings of the planet. That's why it's so important to keep that in check. All right, you're everything. Your money. Do I have any money here? I wonder if I have a buck that I can. I probably have some change. Oh, yeah, figures. I got a penny. This isn't my wallet. That energy, I'm not separate from this energy. Only in the appearance of the physical world. So if I want to bring money to me, then what do I have to do? I have to be the money. I have to be friends with it. I have to be on good terms with it. So if I'm the money and I'm in the material world and I want the money to come to me, if I'm fearing the money, if I have negative thoughts about the money, that money will not come to me. Because it's free will and it's just giving, it's taking my order. I have lack, I'm afraid, I can't pay my bills. That's the message, and the money will react accordingly. Wherever it is. Why do people find money on the ground? It is actually attracted to you. It's attracted to you. And money, there's no time. That money that you were thinking about may have already been dropped on the ground before you did your meditation to attract it. That money, that $100 bill was dropped on the ground before you even started meditation, because there's no such thing as time, and it already happened. All right, I'm not going to go into that because it gets a little weird. All right, but that money was waiting for you, and you were in that spot at that moment and happened to look down. There's probably 100 people that walked on the money, but you looked down and saw it. Not a coincidence. If you are everything and energy, you are all energy, and everything is energy. Everything is just one energy vibrating in different frequencies. If you want to vibrate on that frequency to attract it, then you need to be friends with the money, the job, the relationship, the self-love, and know that that already exists. The joyful, happy you that's confident, that doesn't have all that garbage, the I'm not worthy, my parents didn't love me, blah, blah, blah. Aren't you tired of those stories? Because that you that looks at them and says, jeez, they're struggling. My parents are struggling, beautiful souls who believed the story that they were told and acted that out because there's something in them that's sad or angry or just totally disconnected from their light. And well, I happen to be in the way of that, but we chose that relationship. And what am I supposed to do with this? Maybe my job is to help pull them out of that. Not interfere with their free will, but just allow them to become beautiful people and just say, Mom and Dad, I love you. You don't even have to say I forgive you, but do it in your heart. Because saying I forgive you means, Mom and Dad, you did something wrong and I'm so wonderful. I'm going to be godlike and forgive you. Don't come with that approach, because that's a negative intention. In other words, look at where I am. I'm so great. I'm going to they're not there yet. And when they are, that's okay, but forgive in your heart and know it and act like it. And if there's a time when you can say I forgive you and it's appropriate and you know it's going to be a positive thing, then go ahead and do that. You'll see an unbelievable reaction. All the walls will come down, all the guilt, all the hurt comes down, because you're connecting to that energy that is you, that is in them, that's now going to be raised, that energetic frequency, because they're choosing it, because they don't want to stay there. Nobody wants to stay in that darkness. I'm going to do one right after this about darkness. I am a frequency. I am energy, and there's no difference between me and this money. It's just taking on a different format on this planet so that I can see it, pick it up. But this is vibrating. And when I love the money, not in a materialistic way, but abundance, because there's no end to this. Everybody could be millionaires. Did you know that? Everybody on the planet could be a millionaire. Everybody on the planet could have tons of food. Everybody on the planet could have energy for free. Boy, that put some people out of business. But they could have abundance too. What are your intentions? You are energy. When you look at everything, you go, oh my gosh, I am everything. So this is why I bless my coffee in the morning. I put my hand on it and I say, I send abundance, love, healing, prosperity into this coffee. I send it into this coffee, and you don't have to touch it even. I mean, you're sending it, you are the energy. And then I drink it. And it's vibrating at a higher frequency because my energy that I am, that it is, it's not going into it. It is connected to me. I know this is such a bizarre concept, isn't it? To us, it's a concept because we're really not understanding that. We do the experiments, the scientists tell us this, and we're still separating ourselves from everything as if it's something we have to bring into our reality. That's why people that come to me and say, I can't manifest. I'm like, you are that thing that you want. You're just thinking of it in a negative manner. You're believing stories that you don't have power. You're believing that you're not as powerful as me. You're believing stuff. So that's how powerful you are. And that energy that you're creating, that you are, you're not creating anything because everything's created already. That energy that already exists, that situation, whatever, you're hanging on to this whole energy here that says you're powerless, you're poor, you're not good looking, you're not smart, you're not successful, you can never be successful. What an insane thought that you could be a millionaire and do all these fabulous things. Crazy. But it's not. Unless you think it's crazy, and then that's real. Wow. And when you know that you are just one energy, that everything is connected and that we all are reacting to each other, there's no delay in it. It's all one thing happening. Makes you monitor your thoughts closer and how you treat people and things and everything that you do. And all of a sudden you're going to feel power in the room. I do. Power in the room, power flowing through you. And it's so unbelievably mind-blowing. And you'll realize that you're manipulating everything. You have free will as a human being. We've been given that. Not superior power over anything else. It's not superior. It's just part of that game that we get to play as humans, because we have that power up there. But we learn, we go through things. We're not going to get into all of that. When you know that you are the energy, you're going to start thinking very differently about everything. You are that energy that is your parents. You are that energy that is the job. You are that. You're just the energy, not a human being. You're the energy that flows through this body. Because if you were this human being, then you'd cease to exist when it dies, but you don't. So you can't be this, right? We know you don't. Nothing can be created nor destroyed. Nothing can be created nor destroyed. We sort of forget that created part. It already exists. You want these things? Just relax. The desire, I want it. No, you're it. Just do it. Be it. Know it. I am that. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am joy. I am that happy person. I am that happy, joyful person, peaceful person. I am that healthy person. And your whole reality will change. You go into a completely different, you just shift. You're shifting into another reality in which you are that person. And sometimes because we are in a material world, sometimes things will take physical time to show up. Relax. Relax. It's done. Don't sit around waiting for it. Oh, it didn't happen this week. And then that's not faith. And you never believed in it in the first place. Because you're like, oh, it has to happen a certain time period. There's no such thing as time. Things are aligning. So if you're putting a time limit on something, you're putting restrictions on again. Meaning that you think everything should happen the way you think it should, instead of trusting. You are everything. You are the energy. If you think of that every moment, you'll stop separating yourself from the things that you desire, and you'll realize that joy, peace, abundance, all these things are yours, and that the material world will become less important. And all of a sudden, you're going to have everything you need, and all the things you desire will appear in ways that are not even what you considered, but so much greater. This is the world you live in, if you choose it. Why? Because you're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. You have all the blessings available to you and the miracles. Are you sending your blessings out to this universe every single day? Do it, because it's you. And when you do that, your frequency raises. Namaste.